This video does not confirm or diagnose any illness. All health-related references are alleged and discussed only as general commentary. Hollywood is buzzing right now, and it has nothing to do with romance drama, rap beef, or leaked messages. Jaguar Wright claims the entertainment world has quietly shielded a group of powerful male celebrities after what she describes as a troubling series of private choices connected to Teyana Taylor. During a tense live broadcast, Jaguar spoke openly and directly. She alleged that Iman Shumpert was the first person to notice something was seriously wrong. She also mentioned Drake, Chris Brown, Aaron Pierre, Kanye West, and even Leonardo DiCaprio, suggesting they were linked through the same hidden situation. According to Jaguar, this was never about love. She says it involved danger, silence, and influence. She claims that once certain events happened, the industry reacted fast. Lawyers stepped in, contracts were signed, stories were rewritten, and public behavior shifted. Projects stalled, relationships ended suddenly, stress became visible, and people quietly vanished. Jaguar believes the truth stayed buried because exposing it would threaten powerful interests.
Fired her ex-husband. She made him the bad guy.
The divorce would have never even been out if he didn't file the motion to use our full and legal names.
Then she had to go and she had to get new energy. What was she calling him? Her apple pies? Have you seen my apple pies?
Did you see my apple pie?
Oh my God, you did a love scene with Leonardo DiCaprio.
How was it shooting those scenes with Leo?
It was just work.
Buckle up, because behind the glamorous smiles, luxury events, and flashing cameras, Hollywood has long been better at covering problems than stopping them. What happened during Jaguar Wright's live session was not random noise or emotional rambling. It felt intentional, measured, and heavy. She spoke like someone who understood exactly how serious her words were and why they had stayed hidden for so long. She did not start with shocking claims or dramatic language. She began with silence, the kind that exists when influential people quietly agree not to talk. According to Jaguar, that silence protected powerful reputations while others were left to struggle privately. She claimed that for years, there has been a troubling pattern discussed behind closed doors in the entertainment world. This pattern allegedly involved Teyana Taylor and several well-known men from music, sports, and film. Jaguar made it clear that, in her view, this was not a story about romance or jealousy. She described it as a story about risk, secrecy, and decisions made without full honesty. She suggested that some people entered situations without understanding the possible consequences, and when concerns later appeared, openness was never an option. According to Jaguar, the industry's response followed a familiar script. Instead of truth, there was control. Instead of clarity, there was image management. She alleged that Iman Shumpert was one of the first to sense that something was wrong, not through public drama, but through quiet changes that people close to him noticed later. She described shifts in mood, cautious conversations, and growing emotional distance. To Jaguar, this moment was not isolated. She claimed it was the start of a repeating cycle. As she continued, more names entered the discussion, including Drake, Chris Brown, Aaron Pierre, and Kanye West. Jaguar did not accuse these individuals of crimes. Instead, she implied that they were connected through the same environment of hidden risk and enforced silence. Each name added seriousness to her story, not because of public evidence, but because of how carefully the industry allegedly worked to keep everything contained. The moment that truly changed the tone, she said, was mentioning Leonardo DiCaprio. Jaguar did not directly accuse him of wrongdoing. She did not need to. According to her, simply suggesting proximity showed how wide and protected this alleged network might be. She claimed that once private alarms were raised, Hollywood reacted quickly and efficiently. Lawyers were consulted before honest conversations happened. Publicists shaped stories before emotions were addressed. Non-disclosure agreements became tools of protection not for people but for brands. Jaguar alleged that documents, private messages, and insider confirmations exist, though none were made public. She claimed this hidden information explained patterns fans had questioned for years. Relationships ending without explanation. Projects quietly delayed. Artists and actors stepping away from the spotlight under vague claims of personal issues. According to her, these explanations were not personal at all. They were strategic choices meant to protect an image. She spent time talking about Aaron Pierre, describing him as emotionally unprepared for the situation he entered. Jaguar claimed that after certain relationships ended, his behavior changed in ways that could not be explained by heartbreak alone. She described confusion, anxiety, and emotional strain that comes from realizing you were part of something much larger than you understood. She said this was not weakness, but a warning sign of a system that leaves people damaged while continuing as usual. According to Jaguar, when individuals show emotional distress after private situations like these, the industry does not offer honesty or support. Instead, it distances itself. Their reliability is quietly questioned. Their reactions are framed as instability, not in public statements, but through subtle professional shifts that slowly erase credibility. She alleged that a similar pattern happened with Amon Shumpert. No headlines, no public accusations, just a gradual cooling of connections that most people would never notice. She described what she called a silent containment system: private meetings, verbal advice that was never written down, reputation managers working closely with legal teams. According to Jaguar, the goal was never accountability. It was control. Control of panic, control of liability, control of questions that could threaten powerful interests. Jaguar claimed Teyana Taylor stayed constantly in motion during this time. Busy schedules, non-stop work, and polished appearances. According to her, movement is a strategy. Stillness invites questions. Noise distracts. While the public saw success and momentum, she alleged that others behind the scenes were dealing with emotional fallout in isolation. Toward the end of her live session, Jaguar said she was not trying to destroy careers. She said she spoke out because people were left emotionally fractured while the system around them kept running smoothly. She framed the situation as a failure of ethics, where human impact is treated as acceptable damage as long as profitable images remain intact. She ended with a warning, not a threat. She claimed more names exist, more connections exist, and more evidence exists. What the public has seen so far, she suggested, is only the surface. According to Jaguar Wright, Hollywood is not facing a gossip problem. It is facing a crisis of trust, and the most dangerous secrets are not the ones that end careers, but the ones that quietly reshape lives while everyone else looks away. Ignoring this story, she said, would not make it go away. According to Jaguar Wright, the pressure is already being felt inside the industry, even if the public cannot see it yet. Trust has started to crack. Conversations no longer sound the same. People are more careful, more watchful, and far less relaxed. She explained that once secrecy is spoken out loud, it begins to lose its grip. Her closing words felt less like an ending and more like the start of something bigger. She said her goal was never to destroy careers. Instead, she wanted to confront a system that treats people as disposable once they stop being useful. In that system, silence is rewarded, while honesty comes with consequences. Jaguar warned that more information would eventually come out, not because she wanted chaos, but because systems built on secrecy do not last forever. Hollywood, she said, is entering a phase it can no longer fully manage. The deepest damage will not come from headlines or cancellations. It will come from the realization that trust was sacrificed long before anyone was told the full truth. Once that understanding settles in, no amount of public relations work can restore what was lost. She explained that after the live stream ended, the impact did not fade. It lingered. According to her, when silence begins to crack, it does not break loudly. It leaks slowly through behavior, timing, and choices that suddenly feel off. She described what followed as recalibration, not backlash. Meetings became shorter. Language turned cautious. Familiar partnerships felt strained. Not because accusations were made, but because people understood the risk of being connected to a story that threatens a carefully protected structure. Jaguar suggested the response was quick but invisible. There were no public denials or dramatic statements. Instead, there were internal warnings, quiet distancing, and tighter circles. She said this is how power protects itself when exposure threatens control rather than image. She returned to the idea of proximity, explaining that being near a story like this can be just as dangerous as being at the center of it. Some collaborators stepped away without explanation. Invitations went unanswered. Appearances were declined. It was not panic. It was calculation. She framed this moment as a test of loyalty. Who stays quiet? Who asks questions? Who suddenly becomes inconvenient? According to Jaguar, Reputations are shaped in private rooms, not on stages or screens. She said some people chose safety over truth, while others found themselves isolated for hesitating too long. She mentioned Teyana Taylor again, not as a villain, but as an example of how tightly narratives are protected when money and image are involved. Every move was precise. Every absence had an explanation. Nothing, she claimed, was accidental. Those on the edges felt the consequences the most. People without powerful teams to shield them. When they hesitated, their behavior was labeled unstable. When they pulled back, they were seen as unreliable. Jaguar returned to Aaron Pierre, suggesting that what looked like quiet withdrawal was actually survival. She described the mental toll of existing in a space where speaking freely feels dangerous. Every word becomes a calculation. Every silence becomes deliberate. Over time, confidence fades, curiosity disappears, and compliance takes its place. She argued that this is how control works without force. You do not silence people directly. You make speaking cost more than staying quiet. She suggested Amon Shumpert and others felt similar pressure. No threats, no ultimatums, just the understanding that asking certain questions could limit future opportunities. Most people, she said, do not need to be warned. They simply watch what happens to others. Jaguar also spoke about the media. She claimed reporters sensed the weight of the story but understood the risk. Sources stopped responding. Editors demanded proof that could never be placed on record. Legal teams raised concerns about exposure, not accuracy. Stories, she said, do not always die because they are false. Sometimes they disappear because permission is never granted. She reminded viewers that silence does not mean nothing happened. Often it means too much happened behind closed doors. Fans notice patterns. Disappearances are remembered. Inconsistencies linger longer than press cycles. According to Jaguar, once people begin connecting dots, control becomes fragile. She ended by acknowledging the backlash she expected. Attacks on her character, her motives, her stability. She said that discrediting the messenger is easier than facing the message. But she insisted the story does not belong to her. It belongs to those left confused, sidelined, and asked to move on without answers. This, she said, is no longer entertainment. It is a warning about what happens when silence matters more than truth and image matters more than people.